Welcome to the Chatter After Live. We are here post Academy Awards talking the Oscars. I am so happy, the Christopher Nolan stan that I am, after the events last night. It was a fun show. We actually watched it live. Didge, I know you're not huge on award season, but this year we actually watched I think almost every major award show.
Yeah. It was
How'd the
fun.
Oscars stack up?
They were fun. Like you said, I'm not huge on award season. I like it for the fun conversations that you have after them. That's sort of like the height of it for me. I don't really take major stock in beyond that. But this was an entertaining one. Some films that I really wanted to at least get an award won this last night, so I'm happy with that. Especially Godzilla winning. That was the highlight of my night.
That was awesome. I was scared for a second there with Godzilla. I'm like, maybe it won't get it, but I'm glad it pulled through. Christian, welcome back, man. How you been? Thoughts on Oscar night?
Hey, what's going on? Thank you again for having me. Yeah, it was a pretty tamed Oscars this year. No slaps occurred, unfortunately. Although I thought RDJ was going to get up there and say something to Jimmy Kimmel. Like
Jimmy Kimmel had it coming. I'm not gonna lie.
He just kept going and going. It's like, I get it. You got to be banterish, but anyway, outside of that, it was a pretty predictable. Well, actually, I would say it's predictable for Oppenheimer winning Best Picture and Best Director, but for some of the other awards for costume and even writing, adapted screenplay, I was very shocked that American Fiction won. I thought that was going to go straight to Oppenheimer because it's a great screenplay. It's a great adaptation. But overall, it was all right. It was fine. It's award season, it's just, I don't know. I don't have too many notes of oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. It's yep, Oppenheimer won like I thought it was going to. But yeah, I'm happy for Nolan. For company for taking care of business, but it's all about the Dune Part 2, sweet baby, 2025.
You're already looking ahead.
Look,
literally,
Oscar time is coming.
when it comes to award season, even though we don't really cover it on our podcast, a lot of award podcasts that I know, the award season for 2025 starts literally actually starts in January before this Oscars even started.
Fair.
So it's they're round the clock, but Dune Sweet Baby 2025, calling it. Let's go. Let the spice flow.
Let the spice flow. When Dune gets nominated for every single category, we're just gonna be looking at Christian oh my gosh, he's the Mahdi.
Lisa Nalagayev. As it was written. Oh, did he freeze? Mike froze.
Oh,
look at that smile.
Froze. Am I back? Did I freeze?
You did.
You froze again, though.
Did I freeze? Am I back now?
Now you're back. Yeah, now you're back.
Okay.
I was like, he's holding that smile for a while.
I was throwing it to Nate.
Okay.
What were your thoughts?
Oh, thank you first again.
No, you're good.
No, I think Mike might have, but just go ahead.
Froze again.
Oh, now he's back. Okay, now I see his eyes moving. Yeah, I
don't know.
I really enjoyed this year's Oscars, probably more than the last couple of years. I thought it was shorter than usual, which I really appreciated because I'm not usually a night person, and I like that they started it early and they just kind of went through it. I didn't actually think I do not like Jimmy Kimmel usually, but I'm kind of appreciated he took a back seat for most of it, and he just didn't make it just a extended episode of his show. Obviously, I'm most excited about Oppenheimer just sweeping everything because that was my favorite movie of last year, and I thought that was great. And I just loved all of the skits that did happen were incredible to me. But the John Cena one.
Streaking John Cena.
Yeah.
That was great. But I will say, because Mike knows this, but I played a little drinking game and I just wrote every possible thing that could happen
Ooh.
And yeah, it was a night.
There you go.
It
man.
was a night.
He was living it up. He was living it up. That's all that matters.
Yeah. It was my friend's dad, my roommate's dad was over, and my roommate watched for a little bit, but then he left to, I think he was like playing Dungeons and Dragons, and his dad was like, I kind of want to watch. I'm like, go ahead. I'm like, I enjoy the company. And he was just watching me take shots after like each thing. And like, he saw my list and he was like, oh, you got to take a shot now. I'm like, you're not supposed to be encouraging this.
That's how it always goes with drinking games, though. Like the person walks in, sees it, like, all right, now I'm gonna make sure you do every single one of these.
Exactly.
Hilarious.
They
gave you a lot of opportunities too.
Yeah.
We have the major categories listed. First up, Jamie, we're right here. We're good. What's up? What's up?
What's up,
If I freeze again, did just go off the list in the order of the Hollywood Reporter's ranking.
Sounds good.
So I did want to start off with, we're going to go slightly out of order. We're going to start with Best Animated Feature because that was the most controversial outside of Actress of the Day.
Woo.
Some may say it was Robed.
Oh my God.
That is a very deep cut to Shimik on Twitter. But yeah, it may have been Robed. I don't know. I want to get you guys' thoughts. So The Boy and the Heron took Best Animated Feature Film. This is a stock photo of Miyazaki with the Oscar because he just has that many. He did not show up last night. He's like, I'm sleeping.
Is that from Spirited Away? I'm assuming.
I just typed in Miyazaki Oscar and went with one of the first pictures.
It could have been one of his many.
Yeah,
he has several. This was a tough category, and like we didn't do a predictions video or stream this coming year. We might. Christian's just gonna say doom sweep though, if we're gonna be real. But I fully expected Boy and the Heron after seeing it, and after seeing it win at all these other award shows.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think he froze. So I'll jump in here. I also thought that it was going to be Boy and the Heron after seeing it win at all the other award shows. Oh, he's back. Go ahead. We'll let you finish your thought.
No, go ahead. I just think this was kind of a given after watching the other award shows. The end.
All right, fair enough. I also thought that personally, I do think that I would have picked Spider-Verse if I was the person who was giving the award. I just had more fun with that movie. I know you and I, we talked offline. We were talking about how it being a part one of a larger set of the 2-part movie probably hurt it a bit. And I even still, I know some people who had just general gripes with it, but I think it's a disservice to say that like, oh, The Boy and the Heron winning means that it was automatically robbed, where it's like, that was a phenomenal movie as well. At that point, you're just splitting hairs on which one did you personally like better.
Yeah. If I don't freeze and I can get this thought out, we'll see. If I do, anybody else feel free to jump in.
Okay.
But I started thinking about it because I think I did have more fun watching Spider-Man over The Boy and the Heron. But as I started thinking about what makes one better than the other, like if I was a voter, what does Spider-Verse do better than this movie? And I couldn't really think of a thing that it did better than Boy and the Heron. Like, I think the story is stronger in The Boy and the Heron. I think animation-wise, they're two very different styles. I think they're equally accomplishing what they both want to convey. I think score-wise, The Boy and the Heron has a very underrated score. Oh, yeah. Spider-Verse is fantastic. Spider-Verse definitely has the better soundtrack too, if we're comparing the two.
Yeah.
But like if I'm looking at like a checklist of all the technical aspects of what makes one better than the other, I think I'm choosing The Boy and the Heron every time. And like you were saying, Dij, Spider-Verse being an incomplete movie just will never sit well with me because like it just, at least like we were saying, like I was telling you privately, at least Dune Part 1 had a satisfying conclusion.
Right.
Spider-Verse literally hits you with the to be continued in 3 or 4 years. And it's like, okay, I had
It
fun
was
for the 2
brutal.
hours I was here, but it's not a resolution at all to anything that happened.
Yeah, it was so brutal. I remember watching it and just you can feel like we're getting to a cliffhanger. We're getting to
Yeah.
a cliffhanger. And it even knowing that it was coming, it hitting was just it was a gut punch. And then I had went in, I don't know if you guys did. I thought they had did part 1 and 2 together. So I thought like, okay, yeah, it's going to be a year, but at least we know it's done. So to find that out after the fact, that just hurt even more. And like you said, I think it doesn't help it at all, and it very well could have hindered it.
Yeah, I think that could have been the case. Nate, what are your thoughts though? You saw this at TIFF, right?
I did. I saw it at TIFF, and I think that definitely helped my like enjoyment more because it's like I've seen a lot of Miyazaki's movies. I haven't seen all of them. And I'm not like I love what I've seen, but it's not like I'm like a super fan of his. But I really, really love this movie, and I honestly think some people give it a bad rep because they keep saying it's like, oh, it's super inaccessible and everything. And I'm like, I mean, I understood it mostly, but I definitely think with Spider-Verse, I enjoyed that movie more than The Boy and the Heron. But to what you guys were saying, it being a cliffhanger ending, that definitely bit it in the end. And while I had Spider-Verse in my predictions, deep down, I kind of figured it would probably be Boy and the Heron just because that is a complete story. And just because I know Miyazaki says he's working on another movie after this, but who knows? These movies take a lot of time to make. So it's like, I feel like it was his time to get finally his second animated feature win. And yeah it wasn't like we'll get to actress later, but it wasn't like that where I don't think it was robbed. I wasn't like mad about it.
That makes sense. It definitely felt like you might have been in the minority in that. A lot of people, especially online and like the socials, they were furious. It was insane.
Yeah. Christian.
So, when it came to cannot talk tonight. I'm sorry. Anyway, and an enemy. Anyway, so when it came to
folks.
when it came to The Boy and the Heron, I obviously when it comes to Spider-Verse, like that was my number one pick. But I feel like a lot of people who are mad that Spider-Verse didn't win. Number one, that does not take away from the movie at all. This is an award show, like 1000%. Like film is subjective, does not take away that Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse was a fantastic movie. Unlike everyone else here, actually, I loved the cliffhanger. It got me so pumped for the next movie. Like, because I knew it was going to be part 1, part 2, because that's how they announced it. It was originally Across the Spider-Verse part 1 and then part 2. And then they changed it to Across the Spider-Verse and then Beyond the Spider-Verse. Mm-hmm. So I will say that they did not market it well to let people know that, hey, this is part 2 of a trilogy. But I can see, I don't really know what constitutes as, for when it comes to Academy Award voting, like, does it have to be a complete story or not? But I guess that could be a factor, as in it's not technically a complete story, because The Boy and the Heron is, and I've seen both multiple times. Obviously, I was pulling for Spider-Verse, but like I wasn't mad that Boy and the Heron won either, because the more I watched it, like the more I just appreciated it. It really was like a culmination of all of his Miyazaki's other films that he has created underneath Studio Ghibli. But I also feel like a lot of people who are mad, and this isn't everyone, because I know there's always exceptions, but of course the noise on Twitter and the streets are very, very loud. But I feel like a lot of people who watch Spider-Verse didn't even watch The Boy and the Heron. That's just a small little hot take I have, because I feel like it's easy to just see Spider-Verse and be like, oh yeah, that's gonna win Best Picture. It's like, honestly, you know what, TMNT Mutant Mayhem wasn't there either, and that had an amazing art style. It was a complete story, but it is what it is. But I was happy that Miyazaki won. I mean, he was like, it's like a 1A, 1B thing, like Didge was saying. It's like you have two great films, and like the other contenders were amazing as well. You had Nimona, which was awesome. You also had Elemental, which I absolutely loved. I love a good rom-com, but it's like the two giants. I was like, it's either going to be Spider-Verse or Boy and the Heron. And much like Nate said, he's like, I felt like Boy and the Heron was going to win for whatever reason. But like, it's Miyazaki, man. Like, not saying that, oh, he's going to win every single time, but it's like, it's a great film. The score is severely underrated. I do agree. But that's just my take on it. Like, I'm not mad. And I feel like a lot of people treat the award shows like sports teams, and we're not supposed to do that. Where it's like, like obviously joking around, like, yeah, I'm championing for Dune Part 2. But like, even if it doesn't win Best Picture, that is not for next year, of course, because I'm just manifesting that it's getting nominated. If it gets nominated, even if it does not win for Best Picture next year, I'm not going to be mad. Like, it's still one of my favorite movies. Like, it doesn't devalue that film. This is awesome, all subjective. So I think people need to stop championing movies like sports teams, because that doesn't get anyone anywhere. And sometimes there is no right or wrong answer. And I'm sure we'll get into that with the other categories as well. Because there was a lot of these categories were stacked. I couldn't even vote. If I was on the absolutely not. I'm like, yo, I literally cannot do this.
I did not envy them this year. I tell you that. Like, as being on the ballot for the anime awards, I was just like, I don't envy these people anymore. I now see the problem. Like, voting best OP, brutal.
It's too difficult. I could never vote for I could never be on the panel for an award show, because it's too hard for you to like, oh, this is singular this, because it's like, well, how am I feeling that day?
Exactly.
Some days I want to watch, Boy and the Heron more than I want to watch Spider-Verse. Some days I want to watch Spider-Verse more. Just how do I feel that morning? And I like art.
Yeah.
Let's just go that route.
Seriously. Like,
art.
Right.
Out of all the movies in this category, only one of them made me cry, and that was Elemental. Nobody's talking about that one not winning.
It did make me cry. It did make me cry. I was sad. I was sad.
I cry at every
Robot
movie.
Dream. I hear at least Nimona and Elemental, like, people say, like, man, people should have talked. I hear no one say anything about
because it wasn't. I don't even think it was like widely distributed.
No,
like I knew of it. I only knew it because I got a screener for, because I'm on like I vote for others. Yeah, it didn't. Did it?
No, it comes out.
No, he was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. It got the bare minimum theater requirement to get nominated.
I hear it's a good movie. I just haven't watched it. Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I mean, I got a screener sent to me. I just haven't watched it yet.
I had a
There's
ticket.
a lot, man. Like, it's overwhelming. I get you. It's no slight to the movie. It's just like, God, it was every day mail delivery. I was like,
I had a ticket for it in when I was at Toronto, and it was like my last night there, and I'm like, I kind of wanted to go out on a high note, and I'm like, I have no clue how that movie will be. I actually read the graphic novel like when I was like in elementary school, and it's super sad to me. I don't know. It made me cry back then, but again, everything makes me cry. But
I wouldn't have went to go see it either. Then if I'd known it was going to be sad, and like you said last night, I'd like, I'm good on this.
Yeah, screw that.
I could use a good cry.
AJ in the comments said animation and soundtrack, he felt Spider-Verse was better. Everything else, he was going with The Boy and the Heron. And yeah, I feel like that's what it comes down to, because when it's so close to making that decision of which one you're going to vote for, you end up having to start looking at the checklist, right? The pros and cons of each movie. And I think it probably just boiled down to Spider-Verse, as great as it is, had one or two more cons than The Boy and the Heron for some people. At least for me, if I were a voter.
Yeah,
It's tough though.
That's fair.
Because Into the Spider-Verse, that won Best Animated Feature, didn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't know which one I like better anyway. Like I think I still like Into the Spider-Verse more. I don't know.
It's tough, man. It's yeah.
It was more stacked than usual because it's like in the past in animated, like they nominated The Boss Baby, and I'm still not over them nominating that movie. Like I think it was that and Ferdinand were like in the same year. They were like both nominated together, and it was like I feel like there's always like a certain studio that will just like kind of sneak in no matter what. And like Chicken Run 2 came out this last year as well, and I know that wasn't like great. Super well was received or anything, but like Aardman has gotten in for like some of even their lesser movies. So it was like I think it was just a testament to how good last year was for like animated movies.
Yeah, it was a stacked year. They even kept Mario out, much to the dismay of a lot of people. Like, so many people thought Mario and Ninja Turtles got snubbed, and I'm like, it's a tough year.
Could you imagine?
Susan,
it's
tough.
Suzume,
exactly.
Now it's tough to talk about that movie in light of what the producer, but it's
still a great film, though.
It's still a great film.
You gotta give credit where credit's due. That's all I ask.
Suzume,
so good.
I enjoyed that better than Boy and the Heron.
I think I did too, if I'm being honest. But it wasn't nominated.
I know.
Yeah. Such a great movie.
Why wasn't Suzume like? Now
I
you
don't
mentioned
know,
that, like,
man.
I mean, as much as I love Nimona and Elemental, I probably would have booted them for Suzume. But
yeah,
what do I know?
I would have.
Right.
A few things.
Best original screenplay. That was a surprise for me, for all of us, really. Did you want to start with you? You seemed very excited when American Fiction won.
That was for adapted, right? Yeah. Are we doing adapted or original?
Original. Or
Adapted, sorry.
Oh,
adapted.
I could have misspoke.
Yeah, no, I was super excited. I wanted that to win, clearly, but I was so sure that Oppenheimer was going to win. I feel like we all were pretty certain of that. So I loved that movie so much. So I knew it wasn't getting Best Picture, but I needed it to get something so that way people on the larger stage can just see how great this movie was. Even though I talked about how awards aren't the end all be all, I needed it to get something. So I was so glad that it did. And the story was so good. So getting screenplay was actually perfect for it.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I wish Sterling K. Brown and Jeffrey Wright could have came away with awards, but again, that Oppenheimer had to come in.
we knew what was happening.
But the fact that they came away with something, it does make me happy. Anybody else? Nate, Christian?
I absolutely love this movie because this was the one movie I missed in Toronto that I wanted to see so bad because it was like it came out of nowhere. Like I flew in, I had no clue what this movie was. I knew there was like a movie with Jeffrey Wright. That was all I knew. And then like everyone kept talking about it. And then I saw it only like a month later because it came to a film festival in Indiana that I'm friendly with. And like, I just think that movie is so smart. I think it's so clever. And I'm still mad how like Amazon has handled the release of that movie because it was like initially going to be a wide release. And then they're like, oh no. Then they're like, oh, it'll come out this week in January. It didn't. It opened in like more theaters in California for some reason. And like, then I'm like, oh, maybe they're banking on it being on streaming because it's Amazon. No, they put it on MGM Plus last week. The streaming service nobody has.
It's so disappointing.
Like I get, they're like, oh, we need something for MGM Plus, but it's like, but your install base is on Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know so many people who like that I know in like my personal life who wanted to see this movie. Like, I think my dad even like brought it up. He's like, have you heard of this movie? I'm like, yeah, I saw it. He's like, oh, it looks great. I'm like, yeah, I told you it was good. He's like, oh, but yeah, I'm just really happy for Cord as well, because he's come from like, I think he used to be like a blogger even before this.
Oh
Like,
wow!
even before writing for TV, he just wrote on like his blog, and then got all of his TV writing credits on Good Place and Watchmen and Succession, and then just for this to be his first movie is kind of incredible. Like
his speech was amazing too.
Yes,
I mean, when you name the shows that he worked on, it makes I totally buy that his first movie's gonna get him an Oscar. His speech was incredible though, Christian. It was fantastic.
It was just
all the speeches were great.
Yeah, no, they really were this year. They were fantastic, and they actually let the people talk.
Yeah, did anybody get played off this year? I don't think so.
They tried to do the Michelle Yeoh last. She was like,
somebody did. But it seemed like they were wrapping up already anyway. Like the music came on, but they were like saying their last little bit, so it didn't really hit.
Yeah,
the Godzilla, not to spoil, but their speech I think was a little bit quicker. I don't know if they were played off completely though.
Because they wrote it in English, I believe.
Yeah,
I think or it's spoken in English at least.
Yeah.
You muted yourself, Mike.
Cool. I think we need to talk about Oppenheimer because they won so many awards. We're going to be talking about Oppenheimer the rest of the night, so we got to sprinkle them in once.
Seriously.
So I guess we'll start with RDJ taking on Best Supporting Actor. I to this day still think this is his best performance, like of his career for me.
Yeah,
like the way he transformed. Like, just look at the side by side. This is the same man.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Hair and makeup did great, but I'm so happy for him, especially after his post Iron Man career has not been great. This is a win I think he desperately needed.
It's come a long way since Shaggy Dog.
Oh yeah,
very long way since Dr. Dolittle. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, it's great. RDJ's got that sweet Oscar. And like, I mean, I love Oppenheimer. I'm not like as big on it as everyone else, but like I acknowledge it is a very well-made movie with fantastic performances, and the movie was just stacked with talent. And RDJ he killed it. He just killed it. And it's just like, man, is this Iron Man right now? Like seriously. And I mean, I think him being Iron Man for so long really helps. Is probably very therapeutic as well for him, everything he's been through. But yeah, it's just I'm very happy for him. I forgot who else was nominated, but I'm very happy for him.
Ooh, the nominees.
Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah. He probably would have been my number one just because I love Barbie so much. But it's like, yeah. I don't think they could have gone wrong.
Sterling K. Brown.
See, that was a stacked. That was a stacked.
Oh yeah.
Like honestly, if any of them would have won, would not have cared.
Yeah.
Because Mark Ruffalo did a great job in Poor Things. Oh my gosh. And same as Sterling K. Brown. It's just like, it's amazing. It's like, can we go wrong here? I don't think we can.
And De Niro as well.
Yes, and De Niro. Yeah.
All fantastic. Gosling carried Barbie. No offense to Margot Robbie, but like he took over that movie.
He did.
In my heart, I was rooting for Ryan Gosling, even though I knew Downey deserved to win. Like he was the rightful winner, like between him and Gosling. But I just have a special place in my heart for Ryan Gosling as Ken, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
that's might be like that. La La Land and Drive, and probably Blade Runner, probably going to be the performances like at the end of his career that he will be remembered the most for.
Yeah,
I could see it.
It's a fantastic performance as Ken. It was a fantastic performance live too. Having him perform on just Ken
that was the best part.
on stage. That was amazing. Especially Scorsese, of course, is on TikTok now.
Yes.
And we just see him dancing along and clapping to I'm Just a Kid. And I'm just like, he sees this as cinema, not them stupid MCU movies, but Barbie, peak fiction.
Oh my God.
No. But Downey, we just released our Oppenheimer review on the channel. It's the last video posted. Check that out. Brandon and I spent a good 10 minutes gushing on Robert Downey. So like I don't need to say much more.
Yeah.
Trayvon in the chat saying he's been called Ken for years and finally became him. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's hilarious.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Downey, I think the thing is because he was Iron Man for so long, and I felt like he became so synonymous with him. But in Oppenheimer, I kept forgetting I was watching Robert Downey Jr. And I think that's what only like the best kinds of performances can do. And I think that's what really made him stand out. Because it's like I loved De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon, but De Niro is such a recognizable face to begin with. I mean, having talked to him, not to rep that hit, but like having talked to him earlier that year, like, and that was probably the biggest thing that happened to me last year. But like, I saw De Niro a lot in that, or even at Ryan Gosling as Ken. I'm like, part of the joke is that it's Ryan Gosling playing Ken. And even, I mean, I wasn't as big of a Poor Things fan as some were, but I definitely saw Mark Ruffalo a lot. And then, but yeah, for me, I felt like Downey he earned that, and it was overdue for him.
Yeah, he really went against type, and I think that played into his favor. Especially again, he didn't look like Tony Stark. He had the hair slicked back, so he didn't have the goatee, which he's been rocking even when he's not playing Iron Man anymore. He kind of just has the Tony Stark aesthetic.
It's just him now, yeah.
Right. And so I think all of that finally, like, it helped disguise that we were watching Robert Downey Jr. So I think that helped a lot too.
It's the first film of his in a long time where I was like everybody's been saying, I wasn't like, oh, this is the guy that did Iron Man. Like Doolittle just felt like, why is Tony Stark being Doolittle? And it's just like, it's so. I think that was the main thing that, like you said, he disguised himself. I felt like, okay, Robert Downey Jr. is playing a different character. Not Tony Stark is trying to be Robert Downey Jr. playing a different character.
Yeah. Hopefully going forward, he doesn't have that issue anymore. Hopefully he broke that mold. He's like the first actor to break typecasting. Like, not many have overcome it. Like, even to this day, Tobey Maguire is still Spider-Man for some
for sure.
Well, his new show on HBO, like he does like a bunch of like makeup in that, and he's like playing multiple characters. So I definitely think like a year ago, he was booking all these roles after Oppenheimer, and some of them got like canceled. I think he was going to be in the Adam McKay movie with Robert Pattinson that got canceled. And he was like rumored for like a Disney, The Graveyard Book or something, but it felt like he was just filling up his schedule just to avoid a call from like Kevin Feige. Like Kevin would call, it's like, I need you.
He's like, you said I'm dead. You said I was dead.
There's a multiverse. There's a multiverse though, buddy. Iron Man 4. Earth 617.
Oh God.
Say it ain't so.
Everything's the same except Terrence Howard is Rhodey.
Next time, baby.
Next time, baby. No. We might as well do Oppenheimer back to back. Nolan got his first dub.
Yeah.
Arcwinder. That's all that matters. Exactly. Oppenheimer. Sweep. About time. Yeah. Christopher, like, I feel like Christopher Nolan, watching him grow as a director has been such a fun journey over the last decade and a half, right? Seeing Inception and Interstellar and like seeing him build that legacy, and then all of it coming to Oppenheimer and everything he's learned. Like, again, I can hear this movie, guys. I'm going to keep harping on it. Like, he finally figured out how to properly mix sound design.
Thank God. His Tenet was horrible with its sound design.
He's like a Pokemon, man. We're seeing him evolve right before our eyes, and he finally got
a good sound mixer.
Right. He finally got that Oscar. I think the direction Oppenheimer's fantastic, from the black and white scenes to the color scenes, and like using that as a storytelling device, and how all of it flows and connects. The jumping back and forth through time, which is a Nolan staple, but it didn't feel like it was an acid trip. It was just, we're watching this story unfold in a very Nolan-esque way, but this is the best version of Nolan we've ever seen. So I think this was very well deserved. Nate, I'm tossing it to you first. Thoughts on Nolan finally getting this win?
I was super excited to see this, and I feel like I would say The Dark Knight is like my personal favorite Nolan movie, but I think out of like on even on an objective level, I think this is his best like directed film. I think he was fully aware of like everything he was doing. Like Tenet was super ambitious, almost too ambitious for its own good. I still love that movie, not gonna lie. But like this movie, it felt like he was in full control. He knew what he was doing, but he was still finding ways to be ambitious. And I'll second what you said with even just the flow of like time. Like it never felt jarring from shifting to like black and white to color or all these different time periods. Cause I feel like very few directors are able to pull that off in the way that Nolan is. And and he was able to make a movie about the making of the first atomic bomb, and he made it feel like a blockbuster, which in the hands of even any other director, and I will even say this, even though this guy is my king, but like this would be a completely different movie if like Spielberg was doing it or Scorsese was doing it. Like it felt like an event in a way that I guess, you know, the Endgame would. I think this is a much better movie than Endgame, but like seeing the movie, it felt like I was seeing something completely new, and I felt like everybody in the audience was like glued to the screen.
That's insane to think that this drama, this biopic, is on the level of Avatar, Way of Water, and Avengers Endgame. And it's like he brought that sense of scale and scope to this story in a way nobody else could. You're totally right there. Christian, we had a lot of people in this category. Jonathan Glazer from Zone of Interest, Yorgos from Poor Things, Martin Scorsese. You know, did you think this was a shoo-in for Nolan, or did you think there was some competition there?
Honestly, I want to say that there was competition, but it's like everyone just kept talking about Oppenheimer. It's kind of like people just willed it into existence. Because I loved Killers of the Flower Moon.
Our energy.
Literally. Give me your energy. R.I.P. to Toriana. But I loved Killers of the Flower Moon. I thought that was a very well directed movie. I mean, I feel like if Oppenheimer never like existed, maybe it like that would have been it, because it probably would have been Oppenheimer #1 for me for best director for Nolan, and then Yorgos. I would probably put him at like maybe #3, but like he did a great job with Poor Things directing that film. But Killers of the Flower Moon had a very strong directing notion. It's like I was surprised that Martin Scorsese was able to pull something like that off. But I don't think, I mean, as much as I would want there to be competition, I don't think that there was as much, because, you know, this is Apple's second movie coming through. Like, you know, it's a 3-hour venture, just like Oppenheimer. And it's Marty versus Nolan. I don't think Marty's ever won an Oscar. But again, that doesn't take away from any of his films. It's just Oppenheimer was just that movie. And like I saw Oppenheimer in 70 millimeter IMAX for a critic screening. There was like 8 of us there. Same thing with Dune Part 2, but like 8 of us there for like Oppenheimer, just 70 millimeter. You hear that reel going in the back, and it was phenomenal. Like I did not know what to expect with Oppenheimer, but I think it's well deserved for Nolan for sure. I'm very happy for him.
Scorsese did get it for The Departed. I do remember that.
Oh, did he? Okay. Yeah,
That's
Killers
a
of the Flower
banger
Moon.
movie.
I think that's his only one though. So
only win. Yeah.
Yeah, Didge. Gotta watch Killers, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
I think I'm gonna take the route that you said. I'll watch like an hour or so.
Yeah, I watch like an hour a day.
Yeah.
Make it your show for the week. You'll get through it by Thursday, you know?
Or do like hour and a half.
Yeah.
But like every scene in that movie, like you cannot skip a beat with that film. Like I'm telling you, do not blink.
Oh God, that makes it more. All right, I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Well, I will say every scene in Killers is very significant though, and that's what I like about Marty's films. Yeah.
It kind of sucks though that this is his second film in a row that went 0 for 10 in its nominations, because the same exact thing happened to The Irishman, which was also 3.5 hours long. But
I can understand The Irishman.
I love Irishman.
I did not like The Irishman.
Okay.
Killers.
You're in the minority right now.
I am. That's fine. I usually am. It's fine. I prefer Killers over Irishman. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
They're about equal for me, I would say. I think
The Departed should have won more.
Oh yeah,
it's fair.
Fantastic. Should have won. Back in its day, should have won.
I can't even fight you because I can't remember 2008. Man, I was 11. I don't know.
Nor can I. I just remembered that it was up for Best Picture.
Is that your favorite Nolan film?
Probably. I love Batman Begins though. I love Batman
Begins.
Did you?
I did not.
I loved it.
I was not. Okay. I wasn't high going into The Dark Knight because I just didn't really enjoy. I didn't enjoy Bale as Batman.
See, Bale is my bat. Like I love Christian Bale as Batman.
Okay, that's fair. I was not high on it, and I was like, oh, okay.
His voice.
I just went to go see it, and it was phenomenal.
He'll never have to.
I think that might be what takes me out every time. Is just like, why are you talking like this?
I love it so much. I never think
to that reminds me.
Where's Rachel?
Where's Rachel? Swear to me.
I don't wear hockey pants.
Oh gosh,
it's ridiculous, but it works, man. It works.
It takes me out so much. Like I don't think it's a bad movie. Like I said, I just wasn't super high going into The Dark Knight. And
you also have Kevin Conroy. He was like the man when it comes to yeah. I feel it though.
The Dark Knight, when that movie is phenomenal.
That is fair. Growing up with Kevin Conroy and Christian Bale as my Batman is such a drastic change.
Yeah,
quality with the voice.
I love it. But yeah, Dark Knight's probably my favorite Nolan film. It's just a well-made movie.
It is. I'll give you that. The Dark Knight is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
hats off to Nolan.
It's cool.
For getting the dub.
It's okay.
Wait, which one?
Batman Begins.
Oh yeah, so is Batman Begins. Interstellar, Inception, like it's great.
Interstellar is my favorite. Interstellar, I love that movie.
That's a good movie.
It's so good.
It is.
That's one that like grew on me. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, I loved like the first two halves of it, and then when he got to like the bookshelf, I was like, I have no clue what's going on. And then I like watched it like 3 more times, and I'm like, okay, this is like incredible. And then at my high school, we had like a planetarium at my high school, and the astronomy teacher, he was like, I think it was before Thanksgiving break, he was like, I'm gonna put on Interstellar on our planetarium, and I'm like, it was kind of wonky formatting.
It's like
but it was still it was trippy.
That's so cool. Put that in the planetarium. Let's go.
The first movie I ever saw with Timothée Chalamet.
Oh yeah,
totally forgot he was in that movie. Totally forgot he was in that movie.
Young Casey
AJ.
Affleck.
Ooh, I would for sure be there day one.
I agree.
I will be there no matter what.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
The holdovers. Joy Randolph.
I'm so sad.
For the holdovers? We're talking about a dub here, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, whoa.
Well, they got a dub, but I thought they were going to get more dubs than.
Yeah,
I thought they were. I love that movie.
It was It was rough. It's a great movie, but yeah, it was rough.
She
We're
did.
talking about a win though.
Right. Let's talk
I
about
thought you were
high.
sighing like, oh man, the holdovers in. I was like, wait, no, sorry.
If I'm sighing, it's just because it's the end of a work day and I'm exhausted. That's about
fair
it.
enough. Fair enough.
Got to inject enthusiasm into it though. No, but we had a win. Nate, I'm tossing to you because I know you enjoyed this movie quite a bit.
Yeah. This would have been like, if Oppenheimer didn't come out last year, this would have been my favorite movie. And like, I even kind of struggled. I'm like, do I actually like this more than Oppenheimer? Just to the level of like, I keep wanting to like rewatch the movie. And like, I own the Blu-ray, bought it like the day it came out. And I'm like, do I wait till Christmas time to watch it again? Do I rewatch it now? But I think I was just so happy for Divine Joy Randolph because I think she's been underrated. Just when she was in like Dolomite Is My Name, I thought she was great. And then she was in this like Paramount Plus movie called like On the Come Up or something that I didn't like the movie itself, but I'm like, she was like incredible in the movie. I'm like, if this movie was like good, I'm like, she could like, I wish the movie was better because I kept thinking, I'm like, she could have been like getting awards buzz for that. And I'm just kind of happy it all came to fruition with her role in The Holdovers. I just thought not only was she funny, she was able to like bounce off like Paul Giamatti and Dominic Sessa just nonstop. But I also felt like she was the emotional heart of that movie. Even at the Christmas party scene, like that was just heartbreaking. And I loved her speech. I know it was the first one, but that might have been my favorite one that night because it just felt so humble and just so from the heart. And so it didn't feel Hollywood to me, which I really liked a lot. Like it did not feel uppity. Like this was the biggest shoe-in out of all the categories besides like the Oppenheimer categories. Like,
you didn't think Emily Blunt was going to take this one?
Oh no. I was just happy she was nominated because she had never been before. And that was like,
yeah.
But no, I'm just so happy she won. I thought she was by far the most deserving.
Yeah. Kit in the comments. Yeah, she's great in everything.
Yeah, she was even awesome in High Fidelity.
Yeah.
Makes me want to get a publicist.
Yeah.
Classic. Gage, have you seen The Holdovers yet?
I have, and I thought it should have got more than it got, but then I just looked again at all of the categories that it was in, and I'm like, you know what? It was just a bad year for it. It's a rough year for it, and this is the one I'm really glad that Devon got it because, like Nate said, she deserved it. I think this one was the shoe-in, and I'm glad like she got her recognition because the other categories that the Holdovers were in and just in general were rough for it.
Yeah. It was brutal. I like what you guys said though, like her being just really great in everything that she does. It very much reminds me of Paul Giamatti of like, I love Paul Giamatti. If you put him in a movie's automatically a success. He just raises the bar every single time. And with Devine, it's the same thing of like, I'm glad she finally got that award because she just makes every project she's in that much better. And so I'm glad it finally paid off. Christian, what are your thoughts on this win and the Holdovers in general? Because we haven't really talked about that really on this channel. Yeah. So I'm glad we're getting thoughts on the Holdovers.
No, the Holdovers is an instant Christmas classic, and I will be watching it every single Christmas season until the day I leave this earth because it is a fantastic movie. And Devine did a phenomenal job. I loved her character. I was able to relate to it a little bit because I've had one of my aunt's son passed away, kind of like in the same vein. So I was really able to connect with that. And I mean, she did a great job though. It's like, wow. And it's such a small movie. Like it's nothing big. It's a very simple story. And like everyone involved, like Dominic Sessa, I think that was like his first role or big time role or just role in general. He did a great job. Of course, you have Paul Giamatti. Wasn't sure if he actually had a lazy eye. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's digitally added, but I was like, no, he doesn't have one. But it's such a great movie, and that completely unexpected because I knew the film was coming out. I didn't know too much about it. Didn't even know like what the basic premise was. I just knew Paul Giamatti was in it. I was like, all right, let's give it a watch. And I was like, wow, I watched that and Saltburn in the same day. I watched Holdovers.
Wow.
Yeah, I watched Holdovers first, and then I watched Saltburn. And they're both around the same runtime, but yeah, it's like I was just pleasantly surprised with Holdovers. Did not know it was a Christmas movie or anything.
Yeah, I knew nothing about it either. My dad just randomly texted me one day, like, "Hey, you seen that Holdovers movie?"
Yeah. No. And I showed it to my mom too, like during I think it was around the award season. I think around like Thanksgiving or whatever. And she loves Paul Giamatti, but like she absolutely loved it. And she actually texted me during the Oscars. She was like, "Where can I watch the Holdovers again?" I was like, it was like a screener link that they sent to me. She's like, "Is it on Netflix?" I'm like, "No, Mom, not everything is on Netflix." But she definitely wants to watch it again. I'm like, I got to buy the Blu-ray. I haven't been able to purchase it yet, but great film.
It's on Peacock. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I had to go through the list of what streaming services my parents had.
Oh, he was like, no.
Which ones do they have? I know because I know they just watched it again recently.
Okay,
watch that and Oppenheimer back to back. There you go.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean it's $20 on Amazon, so you can get the Blu-ray for $20.
That's one movie where it's like I can recommend the Holdovers to anybody. Where I don't think any of the other Best Picture nominees I could just recommend to just anybody I know. Like I feel like there's still going to be some people who are Oppenheimer might be too like dark or depressing for them. Like I love that movie. I think that's the best. But the Holdovers, it just feels so universal. It feels like a warm blanket. Like
it does.
It is sad. All 3 times I've watched it, I was a sobbing mess and could barely see because tears filled my eyes so much at the ending. But still, I'm always looking for comfort movies, and like, I mean, I always have a soft spot for movies set around like the holidays. Like, I know this is a Thanksgiving movie, but like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, that is the ultimate kind of comfort movie to me. And I think the way that the Holdovers balances all of the humor, like the movie's hilarious. Like all of the things with the book that he keeps giving away as like a gift to the scene at the bar where he talks about hitting the guy with his car. And then the clerk is like, "Here you go, killer." Like, I'm not even doing that scene justice, but like, I just think that movie is hilarious, but it's also, I could go on all day.
It has one of the best line deliveries I've ever heard towards the end.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, I was like, I can't believe he just said that.
No spoilers in case you haven't somehow seen the Holdovers, but definitely go watch it on streaming. Kit makes a great point, though. We don't get a lot of great Christmas movies, so this is a delight. I'm gonna be honest. When was the last good Christmas movie we had?
I will have to say Violent Night.
I was gonna say
Violent Night was really good.
It was cool.
I liked Violent Night, but I don't, and I own it because I'm like, I want to see. I own a lot of movies.
It's not like, come on, kids, let's watch Violent Night.
I feel like that's Christmas classic territory. Like
Christmas classic for me, but not a family Christmas classic.
Fair, okay.
I would say Klaus actually on Netflix.
Oh
Klaus
that is very good one.
But I'm like, it's one of those like Christmas movies where it's like, now I can't go a year without watching it. What you were saying, Christian, like you're gonna watch it till every Christmas you're alive, and I'm like, that's how I'm gonna be as well. Like, this will be joining the ranks of It's a Wonderful Life for me as like the must watch, and Home Alone. Which is my personal Christmas movie.
I agree. Yeah, same here.
It will be in rotation.
Yeah. It's in that heavy rotation now, guys. Certified Christmas banger.
I'm trying to think of just all of the Christmas movies that came out recently, too.
Little Women came out in 2019. That is technically a Christmas movie.
When you have to say technically, I don't know if it's a Christmas movie anymore.
I guess what Jingle Jangle. I wasn't too big on that.
Oh, the one with Kristen Stewart on Hulu.
Happiest Season.
Happiest
Oh,
Season.
yes.
A very good movie. I watch that every year as
Like
well.
that.
It's very
Guys,
fun. Yeah.
the hierarchy of power in the Christmas season is going to change when we
Oh
get
boy.
the team up
Oh,
between
good
Dwayne
night.
The Rock Johnson and Chris Evans saving Christmas.
Oh God.
Is
Santa
that
Claus
Red One?
versus the
Whatever it's
Easter Bunny.
called. Yeah.
Red One.
Red one, yeah.
He was
J.K. Simmons
teasing it.
playing Jack Santa. It's going to be great.
He teased it on the red carpet. Did you see that? He was like, "We're flipping Christmas on its head," and my roommate's dad was like, "What the hell does that mean?"
No
What?
one knows.
He's like, "I like the
Uh,
Rock movies, but I don't know what that is." And I'm like, "You know what?
The ultimate hype man. The ultimate hype man.
You gotta love him. Before we move on, I just have to again reiterate: Santa's gonna be yoked in this movie. Look at this. Look at this.
Incredible."
I would train
I
with The Rock.
I would too, but again, what is this? I can't wait for this stupid movie.
This movie
I
is
don't
going
know.
to be insane. And like you said, I can't wait. I will be there probably day one.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
from
it
the guy.
depends. If it,
Jumanji. Jumanji movies were good. The ones with the Rock. So I'm like, what if it turns out to be like actually kind of solid? I don't know,
Right?
but
it has a high possibility because I'm gonna be real. A lot of our favorite Christmas movies aren't that great
yeah.
on a scale of like normal movies. The Christmas spirit definitely helps elevate Home Alone a bit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't judge Christmas movies the way that you criticize like all the other
Right.
normal movies.
Right.
That's
So maybe this
fair.
is The Rock's niche of like, you know what? All his regular movies are mid, but Christmas movies 10 out of 10, baby.
Well, like not only that,
family.
the names that are attached to this movie are insane.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it has to be good
Mm.
for Christmas. Obviously, you know the Christmas scale. You know?
The Christmas scale.
Next year's
You know that
Oscars, it's gonna be Dune. It's gonna be Blitz, and then it's gonna be Red One. Like those are gonna be the three huge contenders.
Oh,
give
boy.
it to Deadpool and Wolverine at that point.
I forgot that was coming out
yikes.
this year. God. So much content. Upwards and
Cillian
onwards.
Murphy.
Yay!
Yeah.
Nice.
He was incredible in this film. It's funny looking back. We were talking Nolan movies and Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, like him just having a 2-bit part of Scarecrow in 2 of those movies in the trilogy, and still like be like he wasn't the main villain. That's still like Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins. So like seeing Cillian become the lead man in this blockbuster drama and just crush it. Fantastic performance, well deserved. He's just like me in the sense that he loves what he does, but he hates all the other stuff surrounding it. Like he hates award season. You could tell he did not
He
want to
looked
be.
miserable. I felt so bad. I'm like, you're about to win tonight. Why do you look so sad to be here?
It's paradoxical, and yet it works.
Exactly. Like I relate to that though, because like like even with what we do, like making videos and writing the scripts and record, like I love that stuff. Editing the crap and promoting it, I hate it.
Not too
Yeah.
much
So, like-
editing. Editing is fun.
Editing is fun,
I
but
hate
promoting
it, dude.
sucks.
You have fun.
Promoting. I'm with you.
I hate it.
You know how much effort it took for me to post the dang tweet that we're live right this second?
I was so glad you
Paid.
did. I was able to just like it and retweet. That was great.
Paid. So no, I get why he didn't want to be there. Happy he got the win though. Tons of hard work went into this role. What more can we say? Seriously,
Yeah,
you guys.
seriously though, it's no, like I mean, it's looking at everyone else, like it's like Paul Giamatti was like my like 1B. Like he probably would have been the person I would have voted for if for whatever reason Cillian did not make it in here. But it's like, I mean, all these were stacks. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen Maestro, so I can't
Now that I
Can't
know that it's
comment
not
on
all
it.
in black and white, I'll be watching. I'm gonna go watch it. I might watch that tonight. Now that I know that there's
He
color.
said that is his requirement.
The black and white really scared you off that much? Dang.
Man, I just it
So-
puts me to sleep because I watch movies at night when it's closer to bedtime.
Okay.
So like I
low
usually
So he did not like Malcolm and Marie.
that put me to sleep 3 times, and I had to watch it during the day.
He has
Oh,
other reasons to not like Malcolm and Marie, but you know.
I mean, I didn't say at the end of the day it was still a great movie, but you know, I at least got through it.
Fair.
I belong to the 1% who enjoyed it. But
Really?
yeah. I liked it. I liked it.
Percenters.
I know. But yeah, Killian, like he killed it. It's like it was fantastic the way he was able to bring Oppenheimer to life, and he's just a great actor. If you've not seen like any of his work, like not even just working with Nolan, but like his work in Peaky Blinders, and it's just like it's great, man. It's great TV. Like if you are not familiar with Cillian Murphy, go watch anything that he's in, and you will be thoroughly like entertained throughout. Like he's just fantastic. The movie can be crap, but his performance will be good.
Fun fact about Killian is he was in a movie that was Batgirl before it was cool. He's headlined this like movie about like a nudie magazine or something, and then it was going to be from Universal, and then it got canceled. This happened like over 10 years ago. Probably almost 20 years ago now. But like I heard about it. I think there's actually a piece on it on Collider from like the movie, like what happened to it. But yeah, I just find it funny that the two best actor last year's Brendan Fraser and now Cillian Murphy, they're both in movies that got canceled and will never be seen.
That's a weird coincidence.
It is.
So
Maybe a
strange.
new prerequisite for the Oscars. No,
Maybe.
No, the I owe you one Oscars. Like,
Yeah.
sorry,
Oh,
movie got
yikes.
canceled. Here you go.
But I was
God.
gonna say, because I saw Oppenheimer, I took my dad as my +1 to like the 70mm like press screening, and like my dad does not give a rat's ass about the Oscars. What can I say that?
Yes, man. Do you know how many
He does
F-bombs are dropped on this show on a weekly basis?
That's true. But like he does not give a fuck about the Oscars. And after we saw that movie,
straight
he
to
was
the
like,
F-bomb.
He just
Yeah.
went straight into it. He said, "Oh, I can use.
no,
I
no,
can
it's
use."
okay.
No, you're good.
But he was
Yeah.
like, and he doesn't even care about like acting, except if it's like Heath Ledger as a Joker. But like after he saw Oppenheimer, he's like, he's gonna win stuff for that, right? And I'm like, I don't know, but I feel like I keep seeing people being like, oh, nobody's going around talking about how great Cillian is. I'm like, yeah, they are. Like that movie does not work without Cillian Murphy in that role. Like I can't see, just like I can't see any other director doing Oppenheimer. I can't see any other actor doing what he did as in the title role. And I think it helps that I think now he's kind of gonna be an A-list star, but like I think it helps that he used to usually just play like the supporting character. Like, yeah, he was the star of Peaky Blinders, but like on the movie scene, he did 28 Days Later. That's like his one leading.
Oh, that's a
movie
great
role.
movie. I think
I
that
enjoyed
movie's
that
being
movie.
removed like digitally somewhere. I can't remember.
They're
It was
doing
something
a new one.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, isn't it
that.
like 28 months or something now?
I think I
Years.
think it was a physical
Years,
copy
okay.
of 28 Days Later is like slowly being removed. I can't remember. Sorry,
Yeah,
continue.
I saw that too because I wanted to watch it. It used to be on Hulu like all the time, and I'm like, oh, I'll get around to it eventually, and I never did. I'm like, I'm kicking myself for that. But yeah, he might be my favorite win of the night just because, like, I think just like it was for Brendan Fraser last year, like I think this is gonna kickstart a new era of his career. Where it's like he was already great. Like even in I remember when he was in the Quiet Place sequel, like I remember when he was cast, like he wasn't even like listed on the poster or anything for that. Like Now
Yeah.
he would probably be like top billed.
Yeah.
Like that was his first thing with Emily Blunt. I didn't ever put that together.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, this is odd. Yeah.
It's I'm proud that, like you said, it's going to be a new start to his career, because how has this man not been leading movies this entire time? It's beyond me, because like Oppenheimer is such a complex character and a flawed character, and I appreciate that about how Nolan wrote that character and how they're portraying it. How in Cillian's performance, you kind of see that all aspects of his life. I think this is going to be a great step forward for him. Also, go watch Peaky Blinders, everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you go. There's the camera. Watch Peaky Blinders. It's great. He's fantastic in it. Didge, any thoughts?
I think you guys hit it on the head, where this was a movie, I'll admit, when I first heard about it, I was like, it sounds like it'll be cool. It's a Nolan movie, so I knew I was going to go see it, but it was going to be one of those things where I was just like, am I really going to care beyond that? Like, am I just going for this director that I really like? And obviously it blew my expectations away. I was calling it my favorite movie of the year all the way up until Godzilla came out. And then Godzilla -1, I love that movie, so that definitely took it, but Godzilla -1 had to be very, very, very good for me to be like, okay, it can take the throne, because it did what I didn't expect it to do. And I cared so much about that movie. And to get me to care that much is just, it meant the world, I guess. So I was so happy to see that it won. It was, to your point, probably my second favorite win of the night. And I probably, but it was well deserved.
That's a great phrasing, Didge. Well deserved. As we get to Best Actress, Emma Stone.
Oh, great.
Oh boy.
Getting the dub for Poor Things. This was even she was shocked and was like confused going up on stage to accept this award. I've never seen somebody so reluctant to take their best actor or actress.
She was like, no, this is not what's supposed to. No.
I've checked the card again. Maybe it was wrong like last time.
We had a deal.
I have never felt bad before for somebody who's won an Oscar until last night, where I'm like, you sent me. I think you were the one who sent me that tweet, or somebody did. No, you sent the response to it, but I think it was at work. Somebody sent this tweet of like, when Emma Stone heard her name announced, she just kept envisioning that Twitter, the X logo, and like seeing all these tweets being like, she robbed her, like down with Emma Stone. And I think also like
as it was written.
I think she's still kind of also trying to move past like even like the Aloha controversy and everything. And I think like people might like look at her like, oh, she stole Lily Gladstone's Oscar. The funny thing is, even though they were competing, like Emma Stone was Lily Gladstone's like biggest cheerleader. Like if anyone was gonna beat Lily Gladstone, it should have been Emma Stone. Like I thought Poor Things, like to me it was very overhyped. I need to rewatch it because the person I saw it with just hated it. And I was like, it was funny. Like, I thought it was fun, but like, I think that movie works because of her. Like, I think she's an incredibly like talented actress, and it's kind of just shows that she's gonna be around when we're all old and geriatric and everything. Like, she's probably her generation's Meryl Streep. Like, I think she's gonna earn a few more acting Oscars in her lifetime. And it was just a bold performance. Like, not many actresses would be willing to do what she does in that movie and just exude like the confidence that she does. And again, just like Robert Downey Jr., I know her face so well, but she completely transformed into Bella Baxter, where I was just like, I'm not watching Emma Stone.
Yeah, those are the best performances. Poor Things is streaming on Hulu now, right? I think.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So people finally, it had a limited release at first, and then it was like around the holidays. So I know a lot of people probably missed out initially, which is another reason why I think this kind of blindsided a lot of folks. It's another thing, like Christian was saying earlier. The people who are mad probably didn't even watch this movie yet. I'm being completely honest. There's
Like
a chance of that.
she did a great job, man. And it's like, I mean, not to cut you off, it's just Emma Stone, much like Paul Giamatti. It's like if Emma Stone's in a movie, I'm watching it, hands down. Like that's just how it is. Even like Jeffrey Wright, like if he's in a movie, I'm watching it, hands down.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, she is so versatile in her performances, and she's worked with Yorgos before. I'm not sure if anyone saw The Favorite. That was a really good movie as well. And it's much like her and Yorgos work so well together, much like Cillian and Nolan do. And it's like, I know not everyone's like the biggest fan of Poor Things. When I went to go see it for my screener, I didn't know what it was about or anything, much like The Holdovers. I was completely blown away. I was like, the production design, everything about this film was amazing, and it made me laugh, and it was with a very important message. It may be a little bit too vulgar for some people, just of everything that happens, but it's so interesting. It's like, we don't get movies like this anymore, where it's just like, it's Yorgos Lanthimos weird, but like it's also conveys like a awesome message and just great performances across the board. And it's just out there. It's this wild peacock of a movie where, gosh, I was so happy for Emma Stone, and I know a lot of people were pulling for Lily Gladstone, and she also, again, this is splitting hairs, like she also did a phenomenal job in Killers of the Flower Moon. And I believe I want to see who else was in that for leading actress.
And
Annette Bening,
Carey Mulligan. Yeah, honestly, and I love Carey Mulligan, but like it was between Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone for me. Like I didn't watch Anatomy of a Fall, so I can't really comment on it. Naya put me to sleep. But but yeah, I was like, in her, like Emma's speech was just so heartfelt, and she recognized like everyone. And Lily Gladstone will have her time. It just wasn't this time around. It's like Emma Stone is a phenomenal performer. She's a phenomenal actress, and I think she deserves it. Job well done.
Yeah.
You can't get mad either way, honestly. I thought Lily was gonna win, and I was like, "Whoa, Emma Stone!" Like, so it's like I'm happy either way.
It's tough for Lily. Like, everybody assumed Lily was going to win.
Yeah,
and I think sometimes that's the downfall of award season, because we already know that some voters will be like, "I don't like being told what to do," and they will purposely vote for somebody else. And so, if one or two people just thought that way, and it was a close race, it could tip the scale. Not trying to undermine or like come at Emma Stone for winning this award, but like it's tough, especially with the historical aspects and nature of Lily's nomination in the first place. It's really unfortunate, but Emma definitely deserved it. She was great. Like, everybody here, I think, could have won it.
I will say, well, except Annette Bening.
Yikes.
Amen.
Yikes.
But sorry. I was gonna say, it sucks because during the pre-show, all they were doing was hyping up Lily Gladstone. Like, even like ABC themselves, the people airing the Oscars, is like acting like she was gonna win. So I think that also just kind of added. I was gonna make a Saltburn pun. Salt to the burn.
Do it. No.
Add salt to the burn. The salt to the wound. Like, I feel like it kind of reminded me a lot. I kept seeing comparisons of like the Chadwick Boseman Oscars, where it was like they literally saved Best Actor for last.
Yeah.
And it was like, huh?
Yeah.
And I felt like they were almost like theming it to like Lily Gladstone. Like I think they had her like at the front row at the center, like just like they had. I think it was Michelle Yeoh had it last year. Will Smith had it the year before. Who was before that? I think Frances McDormand was there for like
I remember that.
But they were setting the stage for her. And I hate that people are like shitting on Emma Stone because she didn't vote for herself. Like, it wasn't like she knew she was gonna win.
You could very clearly see that she did not know. That shock was real.
She's a great actress. She ain't that good an actress.
Ain't no Amber Heard in the courtroom there. I was like,
if you watch her interview with like the press after like winning, when she goes backstage, she looks like she's still like shaking.
Yeah,
like she feels almost like uncomfortable. Like I know she's like spoken about like her dealing with like anxiety, like severe like anxiety throughout her whole life, and that she still deals with it a lot. But it's like she seems almost like uncomfortable. Like she's like waiting for like a press person to be like, "How do you feel that you took Lily Gladstone's Oscar?"
Yeah, and I don't like it. People have that mentality.
Yeah,
it's like it's the word, and that goes back to what I was talking about. You know, people champion these actors and actresses. I think some people, at least in the streets of Twitter, champion these actors and actresses more than the actors even care to be like. It's like, you know, like you would think they're heck like their agent or something. They're getting paid by this person, like the hype man. It's like their campaign manager. It's like I feel like most people kind of get away. They get a little bit too carried away. Again, it's more so just it's a tough choice, and I don't think people need to view this as Emma taking Lily's Oscar. Like, heck, I'm sure if it was up to Emma, she probably would have given it to Lily too. She probably voted for her. So it's like, you know, for all we know, Lily voted for Emma Stone. You know, if she's part of I think she's part of the Academy.
But man, you always vote for yourself.
Always vote for yourself. Can you vote for yourself?
Probably.
I feel like you should be able to.
Because I 100% would. Every time if I was nominated, it would be me. I know I got one vote, guys.
Right, at least I got one.
I wasn't sure, but yeah, I'm not sure.
I'd be under the assumption that that's true because I'm not voting for anybody else, and I would not expect them to vote for me if they were not. Either.
So. Like if it was us for best actor, I would highly assume like, all right, everybody's getting one vote because we're all voting for ourselves.
Oh,
seriously.
But yeah, I agree, Nate. I hate that mentality of, you know, people are just kind of complain about it for a few weeks and then they'll forget about it. And it's just, you know, it's just on. It's the cycle continues over and over. So
I mean, it wouldn't be award season without some type of controversy of
that's true.
So this award.
But also both of these movies, it's like the general public did not. I guarantee the general public did not see Poor Things, and I know the general public did not see Killers of the Flower Moon either. Like this was like a critics bubble situation, especially when it comes to like campaigning and stuff. Because my mom knew about Killers of the Flower Moon, and I was like, yeah, it's over 3 hours. She immediately shut that down. But I don't even think she knows what Poor Things is. I was like, she probably wouldn't. I don't think any of my friends do either.
Christopher Nolan, like Martin Scorsese's over here, like it's cool when Nolan does it. It's a problem when I do it. nobody minded Oppenheimer being 3 hours, but
I complained going in. I definitely complained.
But you went in, Diggs. That's the difference.
But you went in.
You wrote this movie.
Which movie did you watch?
Oh man, poor.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
that's
Emma Stone, well deserved.
Yeah,
we can keep this short because we've talked about Oppenheimer a million times today. But our Best Picture winner.
Oh yeah,
I don't think there's much more that needs to be said. Look at the two Oscars in a man's hand.
Yeah, I love how Nolan was just staring at his wife the entire time. Like not like a bad thing. Like he was just like He's like, yeah, he's like, that's my wife.
Like the way that he was just letting her talk. He's been doing it all award season because obviously he'll get his chance to talk with Best Director. So when Best Picture comes up, and he gives her the floor, and he just stands there like the most proud man in the world. And I'm sure he was at that moment.
Oh yeah,
but it's so crazy how evident it was on his face. It was heartwarming.
It really was, yeah. And it's like, again, this was a stat cast when it came to Best Picture. Like, there's a lot of great movies here, minus Maestro. But I'm just joking.
We don't know.
I haven't seen it, so I can't.
I'll let you guys know later this week when I watch it.
I liked it. I'm the one person who liked it.
I need to watch it. I can't clown on it too much. But I was oh man, I was like, oh, Past Lives is here. But it's like, it's Oppenheimer. Like the train just kept going. And as much as I loved Past Lives, I was like, and in my heart, it's like Past Lives or even The Holdovers or Barbie winning. But like logically, it's like, it's going to be Oppenheimer.
Could we just mention Al Pacino's like 10 out of 10 presentation?
I loved great. He didn't even mention the other nom. He was like, oh, I see Oppenheimer. I was like, wow.
Man just said Oppenheimer, and he just walked off.
Then he says what happened after he says the names. Like, he's like Emma Thomas, Christopher Nolan, and the other guy, and then you hear him like mutter, "What happened?"
Yeah. It's like, you did it backwards, but it's cool, man.
Apparently, he released a statement today saying that the producers asked him to just only name the winner, but I don't think they wanted him to name it like in the fashion that he did it. He went up there like he just rolled out of bed. It was great.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be him and Michelle Pfeiffer, though, because it was supposed to be the Scarface reunion. And then I read that like Michelle Pfeiffer got sick, but I'm like, at that point, I don't know, would it have been a conflict of interest if you had De Niro like present with him, just have it be a Heat, reunion?
Oh yeah,
yep, it would.
I know,
break his heart right there on stage. That's
that's rough.
He already didn't look like he wanted to be there either.
Yeah,
that's fair. I will say somehow this category, Best Picture, was way more unhinged and chaotic than it was when Al Pacino was at the Game Awards a few months ago.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Right. I forgot about that. Man,
and we thought that was bad, but it's like, nope, it got worse.
Man, yep, I forgot about that.
No,
memory unlocked. I was like, what is this man doing here? Does he even know
Does he even know what a game is?
Does he even know what a Nintendo is?
that was for sure that was for sure somebody young in his family was like, yo, you know what would be great if you go do this.
Back in my day, Nintendo was a shoe company. It's probably true. Nintendo did everything.
Right.
They were a card
company. On topic, Oppenheimer, fantastic movie, well deserved. Go watch the review. I got nothing else to say. Any last thoughts though on the Oscars before we wrap it up?
I want to talk about the music. The music of the night was great. That composer or the conductor rather, he was having his best life all night. Like he was jamming. They played PIMP. I forgot what else he played, but he's there. You just see him doing this instead of supposed to be conducting. Like he was having the time of his life, and I loved it.
Also, I want to make a quick shout out to Billie Eilish for being the youngest person to win 2 Oscars, because she won for what was I made for Barbie, and then she won for No Time to Die as well, which is crazy because during No Time to Die, I'm not sure if people knew this, they were considering Ed Sheeran, let's get a UK citizen to make the, just like they did with Adele, to make the new James Bond. And they chose Billie Eilish over Ed Sheeran. He was like, I'm not going to lie, that hurt a little bit. I was like, yeah, but she did a great job. So it's like, it would have been different if it was terrible, but it's like, yeah, just hats off to her. She's keeping it going. Her and the Phineas duo. They accomplished a lot. Yeah,
that guy in my life before that.
I think that was Barbie. Was that Barbie's only win of the night? That was his only win. Okay, Still wild that Greta Gerwig did not get. They pulled the Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 1, and I was like, y'all did this again.
She needs to make Barbie Part 2 and then just go like wild with it. Cast Austin Butler in it again.
She needs to get rid of the color pink. she's gonna use all the pink in the world. Like, sorry guys, no pink anything.
That's the award I really think that they got robbed in production design. They canceled a color for like months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They built complete sets.
Those sets were fantastic, dude.
Right.
I was like, wow. I think with the poor things, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with the poor things, yeah. I was like, man, I agree with you, Didge. I was like, man, Barbie went all out, man.
Right.
Like, can you imagine how much pink was on that set? Like, that is insane. Oh my god.
I'm not kidding when I say I remember. I remember during the production of them saying like the company that manufactured the paint for the color.
Yeah.
People wanted to get it after seeing the whole Barbie thing, and they were like, we don't have any right now. Like, they use all of
pink
this
in the world.
They use the color pink.
All the pink in the world was pretty much gone. Like they said, other companies didn't have it either. Like we had a pink shortage globally.
That is wild. That is wild. Like, how do you produce more pink?
I don't know. That's what confused me, to be honest. I was like, how do you run out of a color?
It's such an easy color. It's just red and white. Like it's not like it was a special mix either.
Right.
Oh, that is so hilarious.
No, but that I'm shocked it did not win production design.
Yeah.
Another shocking thing outside of the In Memoriam, which was very strange and weird, was we had this whole special segment praising stuntmen and stunt choreography and no Oscar for it. And it's like,
oh yeah,
add the award next time, please.
I didn't even think of that.
I didn't think of that either.
I think that was just an ad basically for the Fall Guy. Like it was Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt being like, remember Barbenheimer? This is a crossover. First movie of the summer. Here's stunts. Some random movie with stunts. Bye.
Seriously, that's all it was.
I actually have a question for you guys. So outside of Jimmy Kimmel, whatever. John Mulaney will be your. I guess you knew. I was gonna ask like what celebrity or just, and it doesn't even have to be a talk show host. Just like what celebrity or who would you like to see to host the Oscars like next year, just in general, or just
John Mulaney.
John Mulaney would be great. I think he'd be hilarious.
I am firmly on the John Mulaney train as well.
He was so funny in the 30 seconds he had last night.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. He was like, with that, he said, my mother was researching spiders.
That was good.
That was great. That was just as well as who was it? I think it was Eddie Murphy's. He was like, he's like, I'm going to tell you the secret to success, and he did the keep Will Smith's wife's name out of your damn mouth or whatever. But yeah, I would love to see John Mulaney. I was actually even thinking Anthony Anderson because he did the Emmys, and I think the banter between him and his mom was hilarious. Like, I think that was probably one of the best hosts they've had for the Emmys. And also, I would probably want to get like Jerry Seinfeld up there, just get like the trio. Something I think would be pretty cool. Like, there's so many people they could be choosing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, why are we always going to Jimmy Kimmel?
I wouldn't mind seeing Eddie Murphy up there again. That would
Eddie Murphy would be great too. Yeah, it's like anyone. Probably nobody really wants to do it. They're like, it's like, oh man, then they got to go to the Oscars. It probably wasn't even planning on going to the Oscars. You know, so it's like.
Jerry Seinfeld will be winning an Oscar next year for the Pop-Tart movie.
Yes, he will. Yes, sir. Let's go.
So excited.
Pop-Tart, best winner or best picture nominee. Let's go.
Oh, God.
No.
Unfrosted,
I think it's a documentary.
Baby. Move out of the way, Dune.
Unfrosted sweet.
Unfrosted. Unfrosted. Oh, no. Oh,
Hugh Grant as Tony the Tiger.
It's gonna be great.
No, God.
Nate, who'd you like to see host the Oscars? That's not Kimmel.
I was gonna say John Mulaney is a good one. I was gonna ditto what you said, Ditch. I really want Eddie Murphy. He was gonna host one year. I forget what year it was, but then he said no because he had to go film the movie 1,000 Words. Remember that movie?
Oh my god!
Gosh.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
So I'm like, Eddie Murphy's like back in the forefront. I mean, he's doing Beverly Hills Cop 4 this year. And apparently that movie's actually pretty good, which makes me very excited for it. Like, I want Eddie Murphy to host.
It would be great. Yeah.
That, or I kind of still want, I know everyone's soured on him. I still want The Rock just for the memes of it.
He
Let
would
him
be
do it after the A24 movie. He'd get everybody's respect back with that performance.
Or like Jack Black would be great too.
Yes.
He would be amazing.
That would cook in.
That would be
Award
awesome.
Toast.
Yeah,
Get him to sing every nominated song instead. Just get Jack Black and his band to do it. That'd be amazing.
That'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
Tenacious D.
The Rock would be interesting. You just need somebody super charismatic. I don't know if Jimmy Kimmel's just losing it of the times that we've seen him so many times.
Yeah.
I didn't feel excited seeing him up there. I was just like, oh, let's get to the next thing.
It's like maybe Fallon, but like if they were to go on another talk show, but it's like there's so many other better options out there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Kimmel has reached a point to where you're right. He's just a known commodity for them. It's like it's an easy win. Because it didn't even feel like he was on stage that much. Like after the opening monologue, it didn't feel like he was that involved anyway. So we're practically back to being hostless.
Yeah.
Except now we let him do the monologue, and so I don't get it.
Heck, man, give me some Ryan Seacrest. Miss that guy.
It's gonna feel like a giant episode of American Idol. Do you really want that
again? That's true.
I will say, did you see how Idris Elba did like opening at the SAG Awards? Like he actually did. I don't know if he would do like an Oscar host thing, if that would be more of a BAFTA thing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But like, I don't know. Maybe we get like a movie star again, kind of just hosting.
Keanu Reeves.
That would be great. That would be amazing. He would do it in a heartbeat. He was at the Game Awards too.
Funny thing, I've never been like a huge fan of her, but like she was actually funny, mainly because it was a Spielberg joke. But what if like we got Kate McKinnon just to host it with like somebody? I don't know. Maybe I just like the Spielberg joke that much.
Her sending all the tasteful nudes to Spielberg.
I felt seen. So,
God, that'd be hilarious.
Not as seen as McKinnon, apparently.
Jesus.
Guys, if you enjoyed this conversation, give us a like, subscribe so you don't miss a thing. We are currently streaming on Chat After Twitter account, Chat After YouTube channel, and twitch.tv/novice cinephile. So thanks to everybody who's tuned in from all those different platforms. If you're listening to us in the podcast feed, those always go up the next day on the Chatter After on YouTube. Excuse me, it's already on YouTube, on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We're always going to be there. Make sure you check out YouTube, though, because you get to see all the cool images I made and our wonderful faces. It's a much better time. Christian, if you're listening to the podcast feed, Christian's been in the community center, in the community show. Abed's just lurking in the background. You didn't even notice that if you were listening on Spotify. You completely missed it. So check out the YouTube channel. That said, you can find me, Mike, at Novice Cinephile everywhere except for Instagram. It's the Novice Cinephile. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. It's been a fun one. Award season's over. We've covered a lot of shows. I'm glad we went out with the Oscars, and it was, by and large, successful. Nobody got slapped. We only had 2 robberies, I think, for the most part for some people, which is pretty good.
Robberies.
Why didn't he delete the tweet?
Exactly. It's like, it's right there. It's right there.
He's got a lot of.
He can pay for premium.
That's fair.
He can pay for premium.
Man, where can the folks find you, your work, what you got going on?
You can find me at Dig_DE. Oh, I didn't know it was gonna be big screen. Dig_DEE everywhere. You can also follow my other podcast, Geek Set Podcast, at Geek Set Podcast everywhere. And I don't know, you'll see the stuff if you follow those. Got some stuff going on. I don't know.
He's got something cooking. You'll just have to stay tuned.
I'm a cooking of something.
Something. Christian, thanks for joining us, man. Where can they find you?
Again, thank you so much for having us all on. This was a fantastic conversation. You can follow us, our audio only podcast at Film Optics. That's what it says, like in that area down there.
Other side.
Sorry. Okay. That is Optics with an X. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, soon to be YouTube Music here in a bit. But I'll make that announcement. The official announcement later on, but we've been super busy. You can listen to our Dune Part 2 spoiler review and our spoiler-free review that are available on podcast platforms around the internet, as well as our Shogun episodes 1 through 2 review, spoiler-free, and our Avatar: The Last Airbender Netflix review that Mr. Mike was joining us in on that episode as well. So definitely check out that on our show or on our podcast as well. Again, thank you so much. You can follow us again at Film Optics on Instagram, Twitter, all that social media garbage. So thank you all for the conversation of the Oscars. Dune Part 2 sweep. Let's go. It's gonna happen.
Mess this up, Academy.
I just noticed that you had the popcorn bucket in your head again.
Again, audio listeners,
as it was
Nate is caressing the Dune popcorn bucket as we wrap the show.
Listen, Karib.
Oh god, I can't wait to see how they top this bucket in 7 years when Messiah comes out.
Oh,
it's gonna be in like
put that evil in the world.
It's gonna be in like some kind of movie like museum. It's gonna be there. That bucket's gonna be there.
That was my reasoning for buying it. I'm like, what if it's worth something one day?
Oh, it's gonna be worth something one day.
Probably.
Maybe to a different audience, but it'll be worth something.
Oh God. I hope it's not worth to that audience.
Some community out there is gonna be like, we need 10,000 of these, or I don't know.
I'm okay. I don't know how to pivot from that. So Nate, start talking.
So if you can't find me caressing my Dune popcorn bucket in public, you can also find me on Twitter at Nate Knows Movies and on Instagram at NateRichard98. I also work alongside Mike at Collider, so you can see all of my unhinged movie reviews there, where I give the movie Ricky Stenicki a positive review because John Cena wore a skirt and lick booze off the ground, and I thought it was funny. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Ricky Stenicki. Classic. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't wear the same outfit at the Oscars. Instead, he decided to wear nothing at all.
Apparently, he was wearing like an actual cup from what I saw on Twitter.
Yeah, I heard it was I heard the like the envelope was Velcroed.
Yeah, it was like Velcroed to him.
It was like his loincloth.
He basically it was like a little loincloth. So he was basically naked. It was just, that area was a bit covered. So I don't know. We're
going to cover a lot more things here on the show. We're going to get back to news. Mario had a movie announcement, I guess. I don't know. Something else happened last week. The Oscars kind of took up the bulk of the conversation, but we'll get to it.
All I ask is that the Oscars need to move back to like February, like mid-February.
Yeah.
It's March.
Time. I thought you were going to talk about need to move back time, and I was going to say we got to get out of here or kick Christian out because the time was perfect.
No, the time was perfect. They just need to move the events.
That's fair.
A little bit up. Just early February.
Actually, we'll talk that part off air.
It was like that last year. For the past few years, it's been like that. Because I'm like, man, it's March. Like, big TV shows, movies are coming out. Like, I'm thinking about 2024. I'm not even thinking about last year anymore.
To put a bow on this conversation, there was a strike that happened and it delayed everything. That's your answer.
Yeah.
Until next time, peace.
Stay flaming.
What?